Yo, what is happening, peeps? So, just on our way to the gym right now. It's a beautiful day in the south of Spain. And yeah, we've got arm workout, which we're gonna be doing today. Yesterday, I did some shoulders and triceps, so each week my workouts are completely different. But today, on the Saturday, we're gonna be focusing on the arm workout. So, let's see how we do it. And yeah, let's go and get it. All right, so just arrived. I don't think I've ever shown how this CrossFit space looks like. So obviously they've got rings, which I use sometimes. They've got some dumbbells here. They've got loads of barbells. And yeah, so usually on weekends, there's no people here. So obviously I can film without having other people in my shots. But yeah, at the moment I always go right here in the back. That's where I set up my camera and yeah, just execute my workout. But on the other side, there's like a weightlifting area, benches, squat racks, all of that. Although this area here has quite a few squat racks. So if you're working on compound movements, I usually come here. Although these squat racks are quite low for me, so I need to go under, not in a very comfortable position. However, it still works for me. So today we've got arms. Gonna be smashing some arms. Although we haven't got any cables here, but we can still work with the barbells, we can work with the dumbbells. Free weights today only. And maybe we'll be using some bands. I'm not sure if there are any bands here left. But yeah, we're not gonna be improvising, gonna be focusing on compound movements and isolation exercises really. So let's get it. Let's start with the first exercise. All right, so the first exercise, as always, for the biceps, one of the best barbell curls. But today we're gonna be doing a different variation. So we're gonna be working on a narrow grip. Now, you can grip shoulder width, you can have a wide grip that goes beyond the shoulders, and you can go narrow grip. And because the barbell already has marks, it's already measured, so it's really easy to have your hand placement evenly, right? So when I do a narrow grip, I put my palms in the middle, so where you can see the chrome, the shiny part, I put my arms in the middle, and now I can easily rest the elbows into my torso. The elbows are tucked in, they're not flaring out, so they're always tucked in. The medium grip would be the end of your hand goes right next to the chromy part, where the rough part begins, and then the narrow grip, I usually grab where the first line of the chrome happens or appears. So we're gonna be doing a narrow grip barbell curl. The reason for that is because in a weightlifting world, it is said to, well, there's a notion that a narrow grip works more on the peak of the bicep because of the contraction it has. And now the wide grip works more on the outer part of the bicep. So the peak part of the bicep works for the inside because the bicep has two heads. One goes inside and one is outside, whereas the tricep, hence the name tri, has three heads, right? So each time we're working out, we're trying to hit different parts of the bicep. Now, the medium grip, the shoulder grip, shoulder width, works both heads, usually, right? So it's just a different variation. If you haven't tried narrow grip barbell curls, I would highly recommend because it's always good to switch up your training, right? So we're gonna start with the first set. Okay, so as you can see, my elbows are always tucked in. I'm not rocking the weight. I isolate my body so I can have full tension and full weight load on the muscles. So yeah, try not to rock the weight when you perform this exercise or any other exercise. It's considered as a compound exercise for arms, just because it works the shoulders, it works the forearm, and it works the bicep, as well as if you engage your core, if you stabilize your body, your core is also engaged as well. So really good exercise. I try and switch between narrow grip, medium grip, and wide grip now and then, just because I feel like my arms get used to the same style of training, so it's always good to switch it up. I'm an advocate for that because of it makes it more enjoyable, and at the same time, you feel like you're working out in a better way. You know, you feel a better mind-muscle connection once you keep switching up your training whilst also maintaining a good form. All right, so we've added a little bit of extra weight on the bar, about 50 kilos now. Good set, good set. Got another 2 sets, and then we're gonna be jumping on another exercise. All right, so the next exercise we're gonna be doing is gonna be skull crushers with a barbell. So I'm gonna be doing biceps, triceps, biceps, triceps, and I'm gonna be switching in between. So each muscle group can rest in between different exercises. So I'm not gonna fatigue them as quickly, although sometimes I might hit biceps first or triceps first, and then I would go to either triceps or biceps, right? So I'm doing completely opposite. First exercises for biceps and then for triceps, or vice versa. So I've always struggled with growing my arms. Actually, my arms were one of the muscle groups that were growing the slowest. So it's not much you can do apart from just putting in the work and just working hard as much as possible. So if you've got, for example, a muscle group, which could be arms in this case, that are lacking compared to other muscle groups, for example, my chest and my back, they've grown significantly faster compared to, let's say, my limbs, which is my arms. My legs have always been kind of in between. Especially my legs were growing a lot when I was squatting a lot, loads of weight. I don't squat as much weight anymore. But smaller muscle groups such as arms or shoulders, you can work out more frequently, like 2 or 3 times a week, compared to, let's say, back or legs, which are major muscle groups. So it's just about the way you recognize your genetic potential. So genetically, you can see, like if, for example, you look at someone and someone has got like huge back or huge chest, but the arms could basically benefit from extra work or extra size. Or you can see someone with like massive arms and massive shoulders, but their chest and back are somewhat lacking behind. So it all has to do with your genetics. Like our genetic makeup is completely different. Each person is different. So it's about recognizing your genetics and your genetic potential and how your body genetically is made. And then just utilizing different approaches and different training methods in order to tackle those muscle groups that are lagging behind. So we can work them out a bit more frequently compared to, let's say, your strong parts, right? Which could be like back or chest in my case. And you can also combine your arms with, let's say, you can put them with shoulder exercises, you can put them with back exercises, or with chest exercises also. You can combine, you can create different workout plans depending on your genetics and depending on the way you would like to look. And that's what basically bodybuilding is. You're just building your body. You look at yourself visually in a mirror and you say, okay, I need to work on this, I need to work on that, and I need to work on that, right? And you use strategic approach in order to make yourself look a certain way, right? So because I had to put in extra work compared to, let's say, my chest or my back, because they were growing quite fast compared to, let's say, my arms, I would always hit my arms 2 or 3 times a week, every week, because I knew they were lagging behind. And if you dedicate, like, let's say, one day, which is today, just for the arms, you can literally blast your arms to the fullest until they're like fully fatigued. But when you're working out chest, obviously you involve your triceps. When you're working out your back, and when you do pulling exercises, you involve your biceps as well. So you just have to recognize different training methods. You just have to see yourself in that regard, in that spectrum where you're sitting at, and you work on the body parts that are lagging behind. And basically that's what bodybuilding is in a nutshell. So, okay, we're gonna be doing some skull crushes now, and let's see how we do it. Okay, I think the weight is a bit too light for my liking, so probably going to be increasing the weight slightly. Yeah, let's go to another set. Whew. Nice. Whew. So, yeah, if you're struggling to grow your arms, in a nutshell, just work them out more frequently. Have enough rest in between, so 1 or 2 days of rest in between your exercises, because arms don't really need as much rest, let's say, as legs or as back or as chest in that regard. So just work them out more frequently. It's a relatively small muscle group. That's why it will recover faster compared to, let's say, your legs or back. And focus on compound exercises. You can also do close grip bench press, which I'm not going to do today because I did chest yesterday and definitely feeling it today. And yeah, it's pretty much just give it enough time. You know, a lot of people ask me, how can I grow my arms fast? How can I do this fast? Like, there's no such thing as fast. It's all about having a plan, having a strategy, and executing it accordingly. And most importantly, stay consistent, you know. We can talk about motivation, we can talk about so many different things, but I think it's just a little bit cliched. Just make sure you're living this lifestyle of, let's say, weightlifting or bodybuilding or anything else in that regard, and just lift, man. At the end of the day, just keep lifting. Focus on your weak points. If your arms are lagging behind, just focus on working them out more frequently. Eat nutritious food, high quality food, cook your own meals, have enough protein intake. So rule of thumb in bodybuilding and weightlifting is to have 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. So yeah, it's pretty much very simple. It's not really a rocket science. Just have to keep lifting and stay consistent. I mean, I've been working out for 10 plus years, and like within the first or second year of my weightlifting, these were like the fastest gains that I've ever had achieved in my journey, right? Because your body is not used to training, you're not used to lifting weights, so your body is gonna grow, because for your body it's like a shock, right? And then throughout the years, it slows down a lot, especially if you're training naturally. So your gains are not going to be as significant, but it's just a lifestyle, you know. We're still chasing the look that we would like to see in the mirror. Sometimes you're a bit more bulky, sometimes you're a bit more lean. And yeah, just enjoy the process, man. That's all it takes. It just takes time. It takes time, dedication, and consistency. So life is a numbers game. Just keep piling up on those numbers. Each session counts, each meal counts, each hour of sleep counts, because you're really making gains when you're resting and when you're eating, when you're recovering, not in the gym. In the gym is where you do damage. But if you don't have proper recovery in place, if you're, for example, going out drinking frequently or doing drugs, or you're not eating enough, you're not sleeping enough, you're up till late, all of that is going to just halt your growth, and it's going to slow down your muscle building process and protein synthesis. So just keep lifting, man, and I'm sure you'll be fine. All right, so the next exercise we've got, my favorite, incline dumbbell curls. All right, so the next exercise we have is single arm overhead triceps extensions. Another great exercise, especially for the long head of the tricep. Nice. So as you perform this exercise, try not to move your shoulder too much. Try and isolate the tricep so you can get full extension. If you want to move around your shoulder, that you feel like you want to perform this exercise straight from the beginning, just lower down the weight. The weight is too heavy, so choose your weight wisely, where you can perform it in the correct form. As I always try and stress out to you. And yeah, about 8 to 12 reps in the rep range. This shoulder really helps to isolate the tricep quite well. Yeah, it's another great way to exercise your triceps. Nice. All right, so overhead triceps extensions. is finished. So we're gonna be jumping on another biceps exercise. Let's go. All right, so another exercise we're gonna be performing for biceps is the spider curls. Now, this exercise is also good for the peak of the bicep. My arms are already quite pumped. So basically you just isolate your arms as always and full contraction. It's another great way to isolate your biceps. As you can see, my arms are not moving, so I try and isolate and focus on the contraction of this exercise, because your bicep can have full contraction when it's here, when it's just above your shoulder, and full stretch when it's behind your shoulder. So as we do, let's say, incline dumbbell curls, we have a full stretch of the bicep, and spider curls help to fully contract. So, I mean, this exercise is really good for the pump, and you don't really need much weight to perform this exercise. If you feel like you want to rock the weight, just lower down the weight. If you want to rock the dumbbells, and choose the weight with which you feel comfortable. And this exercise you can perform 8 to 12 usual hypertrophy rep range, really. So yeah, if you haven't tried spider curls before, definitely give it a shot. All right, so the next exercise we've got, managed to find some bands, and just gonna be doing triceps pull downs with the resistance band. So it's a black band. I'm not sure how much resistance it has, but it's quite challenging. So full range of motion. Now, bands is another great way to target your muscles. Obviously, it's different from weights, but it still works quite well because it adds quite a lot of resistance. So most of the resistance is on the way down, and then when you go back up on the eccentric movement, you try and give a little bit more resistance by yourself, and this is how it can work with resistance bands effectively. And it doesn't necessarily have to be weights all the time. We can evolve and adapt even with resistance bands. So it's another great way to target and hit different muscle groups. So I'm gonna be doing 3 sets of these. All right, so after this exercise, we're gonna be doing one more body weight exercise for the triceps, and that's gonna be it for the arm workout today. Now, we've got another great triceps exercise. I usually do it as a finisher because it's a body weight exercise, and it really helps me to finish off my triceps. So it's triceps extensions whilst going under the bar. Yeah, it's just another great way to target your triceps as a burnout sort of exercise. You're not really using any weight apart from your body weight, and it's quite effective. Gives quite a decent pump on the triceps. So we're gonna be doing this and another 2 sets, and we're pretty much done with our arm workout today. All right, so another physique update since last week after non-workout. Yeah, so far so good. Still relatively lean. All right. So I'm back in the house and I am cooking my post-workout meal right now. So what's the choice of protein today? We have about 250 grams of sirloin steak, beef. And I also have something which is my second option for protein, and that is 10 eggs. So I season my eggs with a little bit of salt and pepper. Same goes for the steak. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I also have a little bit of pineapple, which I usually do with my meals. I have a little bit of pineapple and this traditional Spanish dish which is called gazpacho. So basically it's a cold soup, and the ingredients are really basic. It's just tomato, pepper and onion and some salt and a little bit of garlic, I think, and some olive oil. So I mean, this is just one of those things. When I moved to Spain, I basically wanted to try traditional Spanish dishes, and gazpacho was one of those things that really caught my interest, you know, because I like cold soups when it's traditionally made. I mean, that one is what I bought in a shop. I think homemade traditional food is always going to be nicer, but for a hot summer day it's actually really refreshing. So I'll be having a gazpacho with my meals, and yeah, it's quite a lot of protein actually for my first meal of the day. But yeah, this is how I like to eat. Whenever I finish a workout, I like to have a meal that is high in protein. I have some carbohydrates on the side as well, and yeah, eggs and steak are probably my staple meals when it comes to nutrition. All right, so that's it. A big boy meal, gazpacho, pineapple on the side, 10 eggs, and of course, rare sirloin beef steak. Eggs and steak is what I usually have. I mean, I try and change my sources of protein. Apart from eggs I have pretty much every day. So I usually buy a pack of 24 eggs, and that lasts me literally for like 3 meals, because I would have 8 eggs or 10 eggs per meal. So yeah, I'll try a little bit of this steak right now. Really good. The quality of meat is actually really good. The steak tastes nice, it's not dry, still quite juicy. The eggs as well, I try and keep them, if I can, a little bit runny. But that's all you need, man. Just make your meals as simple as possible. Eggs are probably one of the most nutritiously dense foods when it comes to calories. So it's relatively low in calories, but very nutritious, including protein, including fats, obviously no carbohydrates, but loads of vitamins, loads of minerals. So you can't go wrong with eggs. I mean, who was it? Steve Reeves used to have like 32 eggs a day or something like that, or 36. I'm not too sure, but he was literally really interested in this type of diet because eggs are packed with calories and it's also packed with nutrition and good source of protein. So I don't really follow the notion of like eating maximum 3 eggs a day. I've been eating loads of eggs throughout my entire life. So if I eat like 8 or 10 eggs in one sitting, in one meal, is absolutely fine. And I can still have food on the side because it doesn't really like fill me up that much. So I can always combine. Sometimes I might have eggs with tuna. Sometimes I might boil eggs or fry eggs. Sometimes I might have them even raw. So yeah, man, that's the post-workout big boy meal. Little taste of gazpacho. I know Spanish audience will probably scold me for that, for drinking this gazpacho, because I think the preferred brand is a little bit different. But nevertheless, it tastes absolutely amazing. I tried different types of gazpacho here because obviously they have different brands, but because this specific brand, I bought it from Mercadona, and they have like 3 little cartons in one pack. So it's just, I think, what, 330 milliliters. And it's just good for like 3 meals, right? Or you can just, if you buy like a big bottle, you can just pour it in a glass and drink it. But this is already rationed. So there's 3 portions of gazpacho. I'm gonna finish this now, and I have another 2 in the fridge. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on with the meal, and that's it, guys. Nutrition is plain and simple. Working out and exercise is plain and simple. You exercise and then you have high quality food, high quality protein, high quality carbohydrates, which is fruit in this instance, and high quality fats, which is found in eggs and a little bit of it in steak. So yeah,